Hey guys, welcome back to the Magical Artist Tour. I'm Brian Chapman, your host for Topanga New Times. And remember way back when I said, I don't know how many of these we're going to get, and we're just going to keep giving them to you as they come. Well, this is episode 8, and there's more to do. So I'm just letting you guys know they are coming. The Magical Artist Tour will endure. At least until we get through all the episodes. Anyway, today, or at this time right now, today, we're going to hear from Robin Tripaldi. Her art is fantastic and fantastical. Yes, both of those separately. I stand by it. Anyway, take it away, Olivia Poole and Robin Tripaldi.
So this is Olivia Poole, and I'm here for the Topanga New Times with magical artist Robin Tripaldi. And Robin's part of the Topanga Canyon Gallery up here in Topanga, and she does a variety of different kinds of works. Robin, can you tell us a little bit about the different kinds of works that you do, the different mediums that you use?
Yes, sure. Behind me, you'll see acrylic. I work in large abstract expressionism acrylic, and I also work in encaustic, which is resin and beeswax worked in a molten state horizontally, and it's painted and fused, multi layers, and it's actually an ancient technique that's made a resurgence in the last 20, 30 years.
Wow, and I think that you have an encaustic piece there with you that you could
I
show.
do.
Because I feel like a lot of people are familiar with acrylic pieces, which the one behind us, before you hold that
Right.
up, just the one behind you that's an acrylic abstract piece, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so
This
yeah.
is an example of encaustic.
Mm.
And like I said, it's worked horizontally because it's basically wet. And it's many layers. You probably can't tell on camera, but there's things embedded. There's paint underneath the paint. Um, so the wax and resin mixture is pigmented. So it has the color like paint would.
Wow.
And,
So can you just actually tilt it a little bit?
oh,
I know with the encaustic, the coolest part of an encaustic piece is actually that texture. It's
yes,
kind of
right. And I
lovely.
didn't know if that would translate, but
Yeah, you can see it a little bit there. Yeah, perfect.
yeah. And
Perfect.
I have, let me just show you this real quick because this has got probably a better example. This is more an experimental piece, but you can
Ooh,
probably see the texture better on this one.
you can. Yes, and that's much more three-dimensional too. You've
Yes,
obviously
yes,
adding other elements to that. What's the piece closest to? Like a door of some sort?
yes. So I've cut pieces out,
Mm-hmm.
added them in different places, and added these are plaster of Paris that have been covered in caustic. So I made those.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah. So gosh, I'm gonna ask you like the hardest question ever to ask an artist because the thing about being an artist is having this like unbridled creativity. So if you were gonna really just have to kind of in a nutshell, like share with folks, like what your specialty or what your particular passion is. What do you feel like really drives your work and that you're just like, oh, I love doing this. What's that for you?
Well, I just love the expressionism. Like, I have no conceived notion of what I'm doing other than perhaps colors, and I just go. All different shapes, sizes, the arm going, and interesting, they all come out with my own signature, if you can tell there, and there's one there, um, because that's what's coming out of me, you know. And I just love creating and experimenting, I guess would be the best term, to see what comes out.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds like such a freeing process. That must feel
Yeah,
so good.
right. And it's a matter of letting go of, control, especially with the encaustic.
Hmm.
Not a lot of control sometimes.
That brings up like a funny thing. Do you feel like this is seems a little off topic, but I feel like it's an interesting question to ask you. Do you feel like people who tend to be really like controlling like would actually really benefit from work like yours?
Yes, and I find people say all the time that those are landscape painters or portrait, whatever more specific. They have a very difficult time with abstract or abstract expressionism. It's a hard shift for most people.
Hmm.
It's kind of where my brain resides, though.
Yeah. Um, I love it. And so, so I know from your website, which people can certainly go to, we'll put the link somewhere, is that you're doing a lot of different kinds of work. Like some of your
Yeah.
public art, pieces are very
Mm-hmm.
bright and very different than the piece behind you, and the
Right.
encaustic piece is quite different too. And that's, of course, just like that wonderful creative freedom of being an artist. Is there
Right.
like something particular right now that you're like, I'm really loving doing this? What would that be?
Well, I do love the abstract expressionism. It gets a lot out of you. Different phases in my life, they looked different, obviously, because that's what's coming out at the time. I also dabble in assemblage, which is putting used pieces of things together, painted or not painted. So creating a piece of art from found objects or junk.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of, when I'm feeling not so creative, I go to that
Yeah, and you feel like that
to kind
helps you kind of
of
spark your
stimulate. Yeah, it's kind of a break from painting. It kind of resets my brain, my thinking.
really super, super cool. And I love those works of yours on your website as well.
Thank you.
Um, well, Robin, thank you so much for just
Thank
taking
you.
a few minutes to chat with us. And, you can find your work at the Topanga Canyon Gallery in Topanga, and also check them out for their studio tour.
See, I told you it was going to be cool. You had no idea you were going to see uh, craters or suction cups coming up off of the canvas, and just it was crazy, right? That's fantastical and fantastic. You must agree. Anyway, I'm Brian Chapman for Magical Artist Tour, and this has been episode 8. Don't stay up too late. We will see you next time. Good night.